Cindy, good morning. How do you do? Good to see you here. Good to be here with you, friends, today. Yes, Felipe. Good morning, Felipe.
Hello,
Hello, hello.
hello,
How do you do?
hello. Good evening, Eti. I'm fine. I'm happy to be here. Shalom, every friend around here, Fernando. I'm happy to be here, Eti, and I just wanted to share something. I was just right now. I was looking at YouTube, and
Mm.
some video came, and it's an interesting topic. I didn't speak with Fernando yet, and I'm sure he has something to say about it because it's in the psychology field. Uh, it's about the mother complex. I don't know if it is the right term in English,
Mhm.
but the video was quoting von Franz, this psychologist,
Mhm.
and it went like a great crisis in the 20th century, and I guess the 21. Also, it's um, the young people are not being able to grow up. They are yet very caught to their families, to their households with commodity
Mhm.
and all kind of stuff, and I don't want to be to extend, but it was beautiful to hear about that. It's like ancient or not, every kind of civilization or culture have their own right to make this passage from the youth to the, the manhood,
Mhm.
and it is like a role for the father, for the man, the man to do this, to bring this young man, let's say,
Mhm.
or or woman, but mainly it was about this young man that cannot, you know, grow up. And this, I was uh, thinking about this, and it's quite a huge topic because I think it is very true. You know, people are very immature in many aspects, and they are afraid. We are afraid to live life and to conquer. Let's say, in lack of better word, to conquer what we are able to do, what we are able to bring to the world. We are being in the shadow of our mothers, of our family, and uh, this is quite an interesting topic, Eti, for me, I guess. And I was thinking about Isaac and
Mhm.
the binding of Isaac.
Mhm.
I guess it is a strong symbol about it, and I feel Isaac as like a son of elder mother, and I just imagine him as a protected child, all this kind of scenery, and the binding of Isaac and the struggle and the right he passed with his father Abraham. I guess it is remarkable for us to think about these complexes and these situations. So I just wanted to share it, Eti. It was just a few minutes before we started the session, so it was what came to me.
Mhm. So it was a video from von Franz, you mean, a student of Carl Jung?
It was yes, it was like a video about some studies on von Franz, on Carl Jung,
Mm-hmm.
and Freud yet, and then it was like an audio reading, an audio book with some images, and they were discussing this theme and quoting von Franz. I just saw like 2 or 3 minutes. It was a 10 minutes video, and we started the session. So, but the main, the main theme is I guess it's about it.
Yes. Thank you. Thank you for sharing. Did you understand, Cindy, Sandra, Fernando, Pixidis, Yanis, what Felipe was speaking about? Did you hear? Did you understand? Yes. Yes, Fernando, can you repeat or can you write? Can you unmute and speak the topic that Felipe was mentioning? Yes, Fernando and Sandra, join a conversation, please. Yes.
If I may resume it
Yes.
for the audience, for others that are getting out to the conversation, Felipe was speaking about the issue related with the mother complex in Jungian terminology. That nowadays we can see with the problem that the kids do not leave home. They attach it to their homes and are afraid to face the world. And Felipe was trying to connect it with the binding of Isaac. I think this is resume it. I won't enter in the subject because I wish to listen to you as well.
Thank you. Thank you. And Sandra? Yes?
Yes. This is taking me all the way back to the beginning of Genesis, where it says, "For this reason, a man shall leave his father's house and mother's house."
Mm-hmm.
And children, well, actually adults, are still living as children to this day right now. People are 30, 40 years old still living at home with their parents. We're not growing up as we should. We're not maturing as we should.
There are many reasons, because in those days the rent or there are many aspects, yes, to this phenomenon, but the rent or the price of buying houses is so high that sometimes people stay to live under the parents' roof. Sometimes they continue. I mean, some of them, they get married even, and they continue to live under the parents' roof because they cannot go out independently to rent or to buy. Yes, yes. It is only that in the 20th century we saw independent movement, I think from the industrial revolution, that people left, yes, to behind the back to back relationship. Yes. This is interesting. If you want to, if we want to open this topic, when people really left, yes, in the last, let's say, the last 200-300 years, when people left, yes, the house of the parents. Let's say if we look at Europe, just an example, what was the cause, as a case study, for people to leave the house of the parents. Any ideas?
Would it be marriage
Either
to start their own family?
yes, yes, but as even not as marriage, as singles, what was the cause? It's not personal. To leave the house of the parents, sometimes in a rural place, sometimes remote from the city. What was the cause for people, basically young people, to leave the house, to leave the farm? What was the cause? What happened? Yes, 200 years ago, 300 years ago, a great revolution that caused people to leave, to make a cut and to go.
Abuse?
Again?
Abuse?
I did not hear well.
Would it be like abuse? Like
No. Think something which is general to the whole community of humans. What happened in Europe? Yes, 200, 300 years ago. This
knowledge.
Knowledge, and yes, and there also was a what? Industrial revolution. Yes, and suddenly people immigrate from the countryside to the city, to the factories. Yes?
Yes.
So there was a process. Yes? People cut and they lived under very, very rough conditions in the city. Very, very rough. Very rough. Because once they quit, so to speak, the roof or the barn or the parents, they disconnected almost for death penalty, because there was no helping hand in the cities. And sometimes they had to sleep together in one corridor with people that they don't really know, or they have a shared history or experience, and there was no health, let's say, services. It was quite rough, yes? But the industrial revolution, or this opportunity, yes, to even work 12, maybe more hours per day, 7 days per week, just to get independent salary, caused many people to cut and go. We are very happy for you, Pixidis. So there was a revolution, yes, that I can see that we are speaking on a few channels at the same moment. Yes, yes. This is what caused in a way for people to move. It was a cut. But what is happening those days in our times? What is happening? What is the difference? What do you think?
We've become indentured slaves. Willingly.
We can log into, so to speak, philosophical problems of the hour. Yes? But those things are only running in people's head. Or we can be just present and live life. Let's say, just an example. There are dishes to be done, so somebody's washing the dishes. There's laundry to be made, so somebody's, let's say, collecting the laundry and makes the laundry. Yes? Why to think about those things? Because thinking, and this is very interesting, thinking is not living. Do we understand that? Thinking
Yes.
is not living. Thinking of something is not living.
Yeah, it's just idling, just idling.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Yes. Thinking of something, to think of someone who lived 100 years ago, or what are their opinions about the youngsters, and to think that also this is not, if there's a need, Felipe, to move, to cut and go. So cut and go. What is there to think about? Just an example. There was a discussion, or there is a discussion, in the Babylonian Talmud, already 2,000 years ago, about an oven. Yes? About an oven. Yes? Home. Yes. Thank you. Thank you, Pixie. There is a discussion about oven. 2,000 years ago, the sages were arguing quite roughly if an oven which is built from 18 units is prepared or good or kosher or right, yes, to be called an oven. They were fighting hard with many, many excuses. Yes, is it right or wrong? Until Rabbi Eliezer came and said something very interesting. If this oven can bake bread, this is it. Cut all the arguments, the hours of arguments, like in court. If this oven bakes bread, this is it. Do you understand? What is need to be done will be done. Why to think about it? Thinking causes suffering. Yes? If we need to travel to a certain city, so we look at the map, yes? Oh, we need to find the location, the route, okay. But just to sit and rotate in thoughts, it causes only pain. And what for? What for? There is no need to think.
This is so true because really, when you sit and think about the past, you'll get sad or anxious about it, feel bad about it. And to just be aware that those thoughts are coming and to just put them away and just do something. Read Torah.
Yes, everything,
Yeah.
everything. Yeah, so today something fell, how do you say, there was a stone fell from a ring. So put a glue gun and connect it, something useful. Make a toast or whatever. But there is no need to think about things, because whatever we can think of, never, it doesn't matter how genius is this guy who has this brain or she, they can never circle, yes, everything, infinite. So why to bother and why to exhaust ourselves with unnecessary stuff? What for? To what purpose? It causes just pain. If you want to leave the house and immigrate to another city, Felipe, immigrate to another city. If it's cold outside, wear a coat. If you're hungry, make yourself something to eat. there is no need to think about it. There is no need to think about things. In a way, we are built, the whole universe is built that there is no need in our thinking. The heart works, breathing. There is no need to think unless if you need to calculate or to move or something. But why to bother? Why to create this exhaustion? Because the thinking, this is the trouble, this is the trap. The thinking happens mechanically. But the process of thinking immediately claims, not that it just happens mechanically, it also claims, like Cain, like Eve, claims that we are the thinkers. You see, Felipe, you believe that you are the thinkers. You are the thinker. You are the doer. This is it. This is the bondage of self. And suddenly starts pain, unnecessary pain. Again, do we understand what happens? The process of thinking, something intrigues, something happens, and the mechanical process of thinking starts like a car engine. Yes, it starts. Yes, before we notice, it takes also responsibility of the process and seduce us to think that we are the thinkers. And we, as thinkers, are the owner of our thoughts. Of course, it's not true. But once we believe that we are the thinkers, we are shackled in the bondage of self. This is what is happening. If you're bothered, take a step. If you need to leave a town, if you need to move, move. Why to think about it? When somebody's hungry, let's say, he doesn't think about he's hungry. Just make himself a sandwich or something to eat because there's need to eat. Why to think about it? Yes, this is a drug. Yes, this is alcohol. Yes, this is kind of alcohol. I am the thinker, and and I can capture the whole world in one thought. Nobody can think like me. Yeah, and so me. Yeah, nobody can understand von Franz as I do. Nobody can understand Carl Jung as I do. Yeah. Yeah. Why? What for? Yes. Children, this is what people like children. Why people like children so much? Because they're bubbling, oh, one's bicycles, one's that. Yeah. I am the thinker. I'm thinking so hard that the smoke comes from my head. Yes, like a chimney. I'm thinking so hard. Yes, what for? We always believe, yes, that somewhere there out the video or a target outside is more interesting than what is happening now. So we look outside. Yes. Yes. Why not to be present? When we are present in the moment, it means that we are not thinking of something there or out. We're just being here. So being here, it's like 360. If I can, let's say, describe being present, is like something like circle. Because if we're interested in something, it's like we put a line between, let's say, the man and what he thinks about. And there's like a thinking. So all the interest and intention goes there out. And nobody's home. But if we don't think of those things about the horrible tomorrow or the horrible yesterday, we're just being, we can live the 360, not just the narrow end of painful yesterday and horrible tomorrow, which both, I can guarantee you, do not exist. So we're most of the time occupied with things that don't exist, only in our heads. And after a moment, the mechanical process moves to another thought. Yes, and we don't remember the previous thought. Yes. The great freedom is not to think. Not to think, unless if there's a need to focus, to write a letter. So just focus on the lines, yes, so to speak, that we are writing. But to sit and think and calculate and CPU our thoughts, and what for? Just cause suffering. There was a question about the Bible in general. Bible is the 5 books of Moses. Originally were given or written 3,200 years before our times. What is interesting about the Bible is, of course, later it was adopted by Christianity and other groups, but reading the text of the Bible, or what is happening in the Bible. It's not the stories of families or husbands and wife. Everyone who reads the text or engage with the text has the ability to kickstart civilization. There was, I don't know, it was innocent question or not. Why to read the Bible? Why to learn? There is something in the text, yes. And as I said before, the text is not about individuals. The text is not about personality, not about a family, relations between husband and wife, parents and children. The text as it is, the potential that the text has, kick-start civilization. This is what happens. Yes. 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 Look what happened in Europe when Gutenberg came with invention of printing. After many years, almost 1,000 years without literacy, people could read in their own language, because before Gutenberg, the Bible in those times also was translated to German. But only few people had the ability to read the Bible in Latin or in Greek. There were very, very few people. But once there was ability to read the Bible in printed books, and it doesn't matter now if it's Greek, Latin, Italian, German, or English, suddenly Europe, I just take it as a case study because it happened there. Suddenly we see Renaissance. I would like us to understand this. Some people call it miracle. It comes as, in a way, the whole process comes as a reflection of meeting the text. Yes. Suddenly people can read, can connect. There was a pope in Rome in the beginning of the 16th century that learned Hebrew. He was taught Hebrew so far. Yes, Europe was exposed to this beauty. There is something like a nuclear potential in the text. And it's not a matter of opinion. It is not, because every community thing happens to the community. Yeah. Yes. Yes, Felipe. There is great power in the text. Potential power. It doesn't speak about people. It doesn't speak about personality. Just the way the text is written and communicates has the ability to kickstart not just civilizations but also people's lives. Civilization starts at in one's human life or heart. This is where it starts. One's heart, one's human heart. There's ability to shift. Just to give us an example, there is a man, he lives in America. He was addict for many, many years, but he went to recovery, to AA, and then after he recovered, he gave conversations in AA meetings, and afterwards he was exposed to the message of non-duality. So he speaks about this about 36 years. 36 years he gives like free conversations for AA and for non-duality. In total, I think he gives 5 conversations or more per week, plus he's open 24/7 available for conversations or turning from other people about non-duality or AA. He's open 24/7. And every meeting, people are coming from AA or non-duality community, sits and listen to his conversations for 36 years. And in those conversations and the relations between people, you see how civilization exists in its core. Just being in time, arrive any agenda. Whatever comes, comes. Speaking about it. There is a beautiful description in the book of Thomas Mann how Jacob speaks to the 70 souls of Israel, children, grandchildren, about life. They sit under the tree, under the oak of Mamre in Hebron, and he speaks to them about eternity and how he builds the sentences and how he explains them the relation between everyone's life and eternity. Under the tree. This is what it is about. This is how we wire Dianas. This is how it is. And when Jacob finally sees Joseph after so many years of separation in Egypt, the first conversation that they have between them, after not saying him, because now Joseph looks different completely, is about divinity and infinity. And Joseph speaks to Jacob, his father, about the infinite. And he asks him, Father, did I speak eloquently about the topic? Am I close? This is what it is about. There is also a conversation in the beginning of the book before what happens to Joseph. The family or the Jacob sits every night in the tent after everyone goes to sleep. Sits all night awake in conversations, sometimes with guests, sometimes with merchants, speaking about divinity. And he hosts in his tent many, many different people, altars, so to speak. And Joseph, as a young boy and then a young man, sits all night in the tent and listens to those conversations. This is what it is about. And Jacob explained Judah, because Judah, it is interesting that Thomas Mann brings the story of Judah, what happens to him with the loss of 2 sons. Judah cannot recover from this, and then his wife dies as a consequence of sorrow. So Jacob, after losing Joseph, speaks to Judah and tells him what happens to one who loses someone. And he says this is the will of divinity and there's nothing we can do about it. He explains this to Judah. He speaks about things which usually people do not speak about. People speak about commerce, about numbers, about percentage, about salaries, about fashion, but not about those things. Yes, in Thomas Mann, Cindy, there are 4 books. So in the first book, there is a description of those nights. Yes, still in the land of Canaan. And then in the 4th book, there is a description of the meeting and also the conversations that Jacob shares with Judah, with Joseph, and with Tamar. Tamar, Judah's wife. Thomas Mann brings a very unique angle about Tamar. And from all of those, so to speak, children of Israel, or 70 souls that Exodus mentions as descending to Egypt, from all of them, Tamar is sitting closely to Jacob and listens and listens and listens and listens for hours to what he has to say. Questions? And this is quite interesting because now the holiday season is in the horizon and there's a preparation. Yes, Sukkot is the decoration of the Sukkah, building the Sukkah, the preparations for Rosh Hashanah. And when someone is engaged, living in the moment, there's nothing happier than this. The question is, yes, yes, I see. I see, I see. Living in the moment. When it's raining, take an umbrella, wear a coat. When it's hot, drink water, stay in the shade, air condition if you can. Also the fruit in nature, the tree, if the tree will not get enough cold days per year and hot days in year, cold and hot, the fruit will not grow to its fullness. Yes, yes, yes. That's true, Pixidis. That's true. That's true. Yes, yes. There is in a way concealment. Yes, that we could only focus on at the current moment, and this is for the best. And with this beautiful conversation, I would like to thank each and every one of you for coming today and being here with us. Thank you for coming today and wishing you a wonderful week to come, beautiful season, and beautiful holidays. Thank you so much, and shalom, shalom.